Today, Tuesday, the 3rd of September 2024, we have some hand-picked match predictions to share with you, which will be backed up by some stats and analytics to help you make your picks in this list to boost your winning by a greater percent. And to those of you who want to have access to all our hand-picked match predictions, including our top 10 over 1.5 and 2.5 goal match picks, straight wins, and membership videos, as well as membership posts, which we share to members only, then of course you want to make sure that you become a member of the Level 2 Pro plan and start to have access to all of these features to take your winning to the next level. The link is below this video description, and you can click directly on it and navigate to see how you can join to become a member and start to have access to all our hand-picked match prediction events, which we share to members only to take your winning to the next level. So without wasting time, I'm going to begin with the first event of our today's list. Looking at the first event, we are looking at Wales Premier League, a match between TNS against Aberystwyth. In this event, we are looking at the performance of the home team TNS based on recent event they have had. They've shown a very good performance based on recent event they have had, especially in the Conference League as well as in the Europa League. Looking at that of its opponent, they have mostly had events just in the Premier League itself. But now, looking at the performance of TNS at home, it shows that when they are at home, they are very, very good, especially the most recent event they have had in the Conference League and in the Europa League. But looking at that of its opponent based on the way, based on recent event they have had, they show a very high conceding power, and they shows that they concede at least between 3 to 5 goals per every event. Now, looking at the stands between these two, this is the fifth round of this tournament, and TNS, which is the home team, looking at its form, you're going to see that based on form, TNS sits here on the 10th position and Aberystwyth in the 9th position. But looked at the fact that based on form for the home games, TNS has just played no event yet based on home event. But that of its opponent based on away have played almost, as you can see here, 2 events, and they have conceded up to 9 goals. This tells us that they are very conceding, and since this tournament is just starting, which is the 5th round, we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. Looking at this particular tournament, of course, this tournament has just started, and this is the 5th round. Looking at the performance of TNS based on the recent event they have had, especially in the Conference League and also in the Europa League, they have shown a very good performance. But looking at that of its opponent, they have mostly had recent events in the Premier League itself. And looking at the recent performance of these, now at the coming of these two to meet, TNS will want to perform to make sure that it's tried by every way to see how it can move better on the league position, since they are in the poor stand based on the league position. And this is the first home game they are going to play based on this tournament. They will therefore want to impress and want to look at TNS to lead this match in full time, or the possibility of at least 1.5 goal in full time or 2 goals in this match over. Looking at the next pick, we are looking at Germany in the Oberliga Hamburg, a match between Suderelbe against Dassendorf. For this event, the performance of the home team Suderelbe shows that they concede a lot of goals, and of course, looking at that of its opponent, they show a very high offensive power based on recent events they have had. Now, looking at the performance of the home team Suderelbe, they concede too much of goal, at least between 2 to 3 goals per every event and even more, comparing to that of Dassendorf, that's proved to be a more offensive team as compared to that of the home. Now, the stands here, based on the standing table, this is the 6th round of this tournament. And looking at this based on stand, and also comparing the form of these two based on this standing here, I will share with you the form. And looking at the form, Dassendorf is in the 3rd position of 5 events they have had. They have actually recorded 4 wins and 13 goals scored, 1 concede. But that of its opponent proved that they concede too much of goal. For 5 events, they have conceded up to 15 goals. And everything in place, we are looking at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular tournament, the away team Dassendorf have proved to be a more offensive team. And looking at the recent form based on event they have had, they are very, very defensive, especially based on matches they have played at the away in terms of form. But comparing to that of the home team, they proved to concede a lot of goals based on home event. Therefore, want to look at the away team to take that advantage, and looking at the weak defense of the home team, the away team want to take that advantage to see how it lead this event in full time, or as well as the possibility of the away team to score at least 0.5 or 1 goal over for this event in full time, or just looking at the possibility of at least 1.5 goal in full time for this event. Looking at the next year, we are looking at Mexico in the Liga MX Women, a match between Queretaro against Monterrey. For this event, you're going to see that the performance of the home team proved to be average, as you can see here, based on the recent record. That of its opponent, on the other hand, is very offensive, and they score at least between 1 to 3 and 4 goals per each event. Now, looking at the performance of Queretaro at home, they are not as good, as you can see here, as compared to that of Monterrey, as you can see here. Looking now at the stands based on these two, this is the 8th round, and looking at the performance comparing as compared to that of the form, you want to look at the form here, you're going to see that Monterrey sits on the 2nd position. And of 5 events they have had, all 5 wins, 16 goals, very offensive and defensive. But that of its opponent, Queretaro, proved to be a weak team in terms of goal scoring, and the defense is not that strong as compared to that of Monterrey. And everything in place, we look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this event, the away team, Monterrey, proved to be a higher offensive team as well as a higher defensive team. But that of the home team proved to show that they are not very good at offense. And therefore, the away team, which is Monterrey, want to take that advantage, being the fact that it has higher offense comparing to that of the home, want to look at least Monterrey to lead in full time for this event, or looking at the possibility of at least 1.5 goal here in full time. The next event is going to be in the Netherlands Cup, a match between Hoek against Putten. For this event, the home team has mostly had games in the elite, as you can see here, that is elite, and they have performed greatly based on recent events they have just had, especially the most recent 3 events. Comparing to that of its opponent, they concede too much, even though they have mostly had games in the club friendly itself. Looking now at the performance of these particular events, since this is a cup, we want to look at the performance of the home. They prove to be very good at home, especially based on recent event. That of its opponent, on the other hand, is also good based on recent event at away, but mostly this is in a year which is very far back. And looking at this performance of the home team based on recent event, or the overall performance of these 2 teams, we are looking at 2 major picks here in full time. Since this is a cup, both of these 2 want to impress, and therefore the performance of especially the home team have proved to be good, and that of the away, since they have mostly had games, especially in the club friendly, of course their performance here want to improve. Since this is a cup, they want to impress and want to look at goals possibility. 1.5 goal or 2 goals over for this event in full time. Looking at the next, we're looking at Slovakia Cup, a match between Gelnica against Stropkov. For this event, we are going to see that the performance of the home team based on recent events shows that they are average, and they have mostly had games, especially in this cup, as you can see, but just 1 event in this same year, which they have proved to score at least between 2 goals in this game. That of its opponent, on the other hand, has had many games, especially recently, but in the 3rd, as you can see here, in the 3rd league, and they have performed great result here. And looking now at the performance based on that of the away, as you can see here, based on recent result, especially this same here, they are very offensive, as you can see here. And looking at everything in place, we are looking at 2 major picks here in full time. For this event, the performance of the away team is very great, and they have mostly had events recently in this same year. But that of the home team have not had that much game, and the performance is very poor. Of course, we want to look at the away team to lead, or just looking at the possibility of at least 1.5 goal or 2 goals over in full time. Looking here at the next, we are looking at Germany in the Oberliga Hamburg, a match between Alsterbruder against Altona. For this event, the home team is very conceding based on recent event. You can see 4 and 6. Comparing to that of its opponent, they are very offensive, and they prove to be a very highly offensive team. Now, looking at the stands, that is the performance of the home team. They concede too much, and this is the record, very poor and high in conceding power. But that of Altona, on the other hand, is very good, as you can see, based on recent event. The stand will tell you that Altona is better, and looking at the form, they sit on a good position as compared to that of the home. Looking here, they sit on the 2nd position, and out of 5 events they have had, all 5 wins, 14 record goals, and comparing to that of its opponent, they concede more, to tell us that the defense is weak, and that of the away, the defense is strong, but the offense is weak. And looking at everything in place, we look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this event, since Altona, the away team, proved to be a very high offensive team and have a very great defense and a great offense, is going to take advantage of the weak defense of its opponent. Therefore, want to look at Altona to lead in full time, or the possibility of 1.5 or 2.5 goal for this event in full time. Looking here at the next, we are looking at Norway in Division 3, Group 4, a match between Lillestrom against Stabaek. For this event, the performance of both of these two are good, and the offense is good. You can see 6, 4, 5, and 3. Looking at that of its opponent as well, they try to score at least between 1, 3, and 7 goals, as you can see here. And looking at the performance of Lillestrom at home, they are good, as you can see, 6, 5, 3, and 7, comparing to that of Stabaek, which is average. And looking at the stands, you're going to see that especially Lillestrom proved to be a very good offensive team, as you can see. Based on form, you're going to see that Lillestrom sits on the better position for 5 events played, 18 goals scored, and 7 conceded. That of its opponent, on the other hand, also concede more, but they also try to score at least a goal or 2 in every event. And everything in place, we look at 2 to 3 major picks here in full time. For this event, since both of these teams, the defense is not very strong, and the offense, especially that of the home team, is very, very high, we want to look at the possibility of goals or the home team to lead. But of course, since both teams want to impress, we want to look at goals possibility. 1.5 goal in full time or 2.5 goals in full time. Looking at the next, we are looking at Norway 3rd Division Group 1, a match between Asane against Fana. For this event, the performance of the home team have proved to concede more, as you can see here, comparing to that of the opponent who also concede, but also trying to score more goals. Looking at the performance of the home team, Asane, based on home event, they concede much, comparing to that of Fana, that also try to concede, but they do score as well. The stance here will tell you that both of these two teams, the defense is not that very strong, especially on the form table. You're going to see that both of these two, you can see for Fana, 5 matches played, 9 goals scored, and 9 conceded. But for Asane, they concede even more for 7 goals scored for 5 events. Both teams are not good in defense, and the offense is average. Since these two teams are coming to meet, they want to impress and will therefore look at 2 possibilities. Looking at this event, these two teams, the defense is not that strong, and therefore, since the offense is average, especially that for Asane, but that of its opponent based on offense is higher, we want to take advantage of the weak defense of its opponent. Therefore, want to look at 1.5 going full time or 2 goals over. These are some of our top hand-picked match prediction we have to share with you. You want to make sure that you look at your 2 to 3 odd maximum per slip to boost your winning by a greater percent. And to those of you who want to have access to all our hand-picked match prediction, especially games for over 1.5, that is top 10, over 1.5 and 2.5 goal matches, which will be upcoming for this coming weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which we shared 2 to 3 days ahead of time so that you see how you can take your winning to the next level. Then, of course, you want to make sure that you join to become a member of the Level 2 Pro plan and start to have access to all our match predictions and take your winning to the next level. The link is below this video description. You want to make sure to click on it directly and join to become a member and start to benefit from all of these features and take your winning to the next height. Good luck and see you again in the next upload, and bye-bye for now.